And good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Eitayo, and we are live on the show today. And I'd like to use this opportunity to welcome you all to the show. And today is going to be a great day. If you can hear me,
Good morning, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Hello. Hello, good morning. And I'm sure that you can hear me. Sorry, the network is a bit awful, so I have to put off my camera, but I believe you can hear me. Ugochi, are you there?
Good morning, sir. I can
Okay,
hear
so
you. Can
on
you
the
hear
show,
me, sir?
yeah, I can hear you now. Welcome to the show.
Thank
Welcome to the show. All right, fantastic. So we're live, and today we're taking a step further from what we had the conversation yesterday. Yesterday we spoke about the value commandment, and we were able to talk about the place of value, the purpose of value, the power and importance of value, especially in the service
you.
that we deliver for those of us who are stakeholders, the education sector, school
The line is breaking up really badly.
businesses alike. And so today would be, yes, it is. All right. So, um, can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Odetola, welcome. Good morning, Ebenezer Odetola. How are you today?
Fine. Good morning, Mr. Rotimi.
Welcome, Eben.
Good morning, Safety Chicks. Good morning. Wow, I think the network is not friendly today.
It's really bad today.
I think depending on the location,
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Rotimi should be in Las Vegas, Nevada, as I'm looking at it. That's why the network is.
It is well.
Yes, yes, but
All right. So we are speaking today about the team bonding commandment, almost like saying the commandment to team bonding, right?
yeah.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I would like us to just introduce that conversation to everyone. We know that teams do play in the outcome of the organization, in the overall committee of things. So, and of course, coming back after many months, a lot of people probably would have lost connection, the vibe might not be there. Well, people might have missed seeing their colleagues, but they probably will be surprised that we need to ensure that we build teams and then we bond teams. So maybe I'll start with Safety Chick. What are your thoughts on that perspective, on that reality?
Okay, you are right in the sense that, there will be some sense of people not even being certain of how to proceed, most especially if there was some bad blood between the maybe for example the school owner and the teachers. Over this period we've seen some fights break out on social media, teachers versus school owners and things like that. So what would be really help for team bonding at this time is for the school owner, school administrator to take leadership and make everyone understand that, okay, yes, we are all back and we are all on a level playing ground. We will not we're not going to hold actions of the past against anyone. Let that be clear up front, that there's not going to be any penalties per se hanging over people's heads, and that people can feel free to communicate. People can feel free to mention their concerns, because the truth is this period was a lot of mental strain for a lot of people. And so, because people are going through diverse stuff at home that you are not aware of, and then, of course, you still need them to perform optimally at work. you need to let them also know that their own support is available to them. Just create that welcoming atmosphere. Now, once we have created that welcoming atmosphere from the beginning, the next is to understand that everybody is important, because different educators are going to show up with their different skills, their different talent, their different abilities. And because they show up in that way, it means that there may be something one particular educator have that the other one does not have. When you bring all these amazing things together, what it does for the school of the organization is take them a step forward. It gives them opportunity to solve problems they don't to do. So you might have some people that are on the creative side of things, another people but you don't need only creative, you don't need only analytical, you need everybody. So that feeling of that sense of importance, let everybody know that they are a part of this big picture, they are a part of this whole, and that their contributions, their personality, their talent and giftings contribute to giving a full package. So now, once everyone, that level playing ground is set from the beginning, and everyone sees how their own talents and giftings are important, they're not made to feel less or they're not good enough. It contributes to giving that team bonding to really work. Most especially now that we are in new circumstances. So it's really important to bring everyone on board with their diverse giftings and personalities at this time. Those are my thoughts. Mr. Rotimi, are you there? Good morning, Mrs. Ade.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a good morning. Welcome, everyone.
Good
You see,
morning.
good morning, Ifyo. Good morning, Eben. Good morning,
Good morning,
Safety.
ma.
Kids
Good morning.
Academy TV. Good morning. We don't know what's happening to Rotimi Eyitayo. Is he on the move, or is Eben as usual that is on the move? Eben, are you in Ijebode or you're in Sokoto?
This time I am close to Lagos this time. Not that far.
Is Ijebode far? Ijebode is not far.
That okay. I'm on my way to Shagamu to actually transform a school.
Wow. Eben. Check. Every time I go to me, share the alert with us.
Yes, so I'm sharing it right now, at least with more of my contribution this morning.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
I don't know what's happening to Mr. Rotimi.
I think Mr. Rotimi's location is, as I said, should be somewhere around Las Vegas. Not the Las Vegas that we all know, but I think the area, there's not much coverage there. So we are just going to make sure that we continue, and we'll be coming in and going as I'm looking at it this morning.
Okay.
Conversation has been on team building as schools resume. So we just continue.
Honestly, it's important to build a team, because for most schools, the COVID would have knocked the teachers' morale. The teachers would have been kind of stressed out. Some of them will begin to question themselves, especially those that are not very good with technology. So they're good teachers, but they're not good with technology. So there's a lot of feelings. Some people were not paid throughout. Some people are not paid in full. So there's a mixture of feelings. So before you just, throw everybody into work, you need to, how will I say, distress everybody. Let everybody come out and either share their experiences or just have a more relaxing way to start, rather than just start straight into work. Because if people are coming with different kind of what I'll call baggages, different kind of hurts, different kind of feelings, you need to bring everybody to the same page. You need to explain some of the decisions that the school took during that time. You need to be vulnerable. You need to say some of the mistakes that you made as a school that in hindsight, you shouldn't have done. And then you also need to say, what are your plans? The approach that you've taken, and be open to say, do they think there are better ways that they can do that? I think it's important. I'm hoping that before the resumption that had happened, I think it would have been good for the team to have some kind of team bonding as COVID restrictions would have allowed, just to get everybody back into this, for the team to get up again, for the team to be motivated. I'm hoping that that's what was done. But even if they haven't done that now, there's still time to do it. So if you just went and jumped straight into school, there's still time. There's still time. You need. And from events platform, I see a lot of people are recruiting. I see a lot of adverts.
I that is where I'm actually coming from, and I'm going to. You've already said a lot.
What I also think is that before you get so many mixed personalities and from mixed experiences in, you need to do some bit of team bonding so that everybody comes back and we are like ready to work as a team. Because honestly, depending on which approach the school is taking, people need to be flexible. Oh, you're back. People will need to be flexible in terms of the roles that they play, just to be able to support the whole body as a whole in this new term.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Titi. Thank you for that. Sorry, and apologies for the network from my angle. But then I need to also say something about what Safety Chick started with. She said when we're coming back together as a team, we must realize that we shouldn't bring a backlog of probably things that transpire about some workers, some people. Probably there was a flaw before now. And there's a tendency that we want to relate with those people with the previous perception and notion. And that can actually affect togetherness at work. It can actually impede performance as well. And Safety Chick was trying to mention something about that. That is good that we appear as if it's a clean slate, something like that, right? Which actually brings me to the question that how do we need to show people how they can build teams, which is what are the stages of team bonding. I know that most times there are about 4 stages or 3 to 4 stages people normally talk about, but maybe we should pick each of these stages, and I'd like to hear Iben's thoughts, Titi's thoughts, and Safety Chick's thoughts. The first stage of team bonding is the forming stage. So can we spend some time and educate the audience about the forming? Because there's the forming, there's the storming, and there's the norming, right? So that forming stage, right? Titi, what are your thoughts? So as we're coming back, what formation? How do we form? How do we explore that?
Well, the forming stage is the first level of teaming, where people just come together. So we come together, we identify roles. Everybody's pretending to be everybody's pretending to be perfect. At the forming stage, we don't really show our true colors. It's like when you just you don't start showing them that you're cray and some of you.
You don't want to prepare them.
Yeah, at that stage, you really just take people at what I would call face value and what they've said. So that's the easiest stage. So we just come and say, okay, Safety Chick, okay, you are good in safety. We just take at your credential values. We don't really know the depth and the details. So we just take you, and based on that, put you in team. Okay, she's a preschool teacher. She's a junior primary school teacher, so she handles this class. They handle that class. So it's just pretty straightforward. No, and we just form the teams just based on what we know about each other. So that's the forming stage. It's the easiest stage because it's just the beginning. Then we start getting to when things start being normal. And like everything, when things start being normal, you start to show some more of, you can't pretend for
Self.
long. So that's the normal stage. You start to show your true color. If you are impatient,
Yes, sir.
it starts to come out. If you're not very detailed, it starts to come out. If you're the kind of person that leaves things for other people to do, it starts to come out. That's why it then leads to the storming stage, where someone feels, okay, monkey they walk, baboon they jump, oh wait, I don't go gree. Then your fights start coming, start appearing, and when you feel, oh, this person is probably taking advantage of you, this person is not okay, and that's what we normally see. So those first three stages are where things are in every team. So where we all forming stage, where we now start bringing out our new normal features, normal stage. Hey. Then when the personality clashes, start to happen. That's the storming stage. Everybody goes through. I will stop here so other people can add a bit.
Okay, Eben, I think you should go.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to stop where Miss Titi actually stopped, where she talked about after COVID. And I'm actually, because I practice in the school and I see a lot that is happening in schools apart from the school I practice. And I see a lot, even on my platform. I decided not to send some of those job vacancies online just because, some of those vacancies were just coming. Like, what happened? Where are those teachers in your school before? Did you send them away? You just want to build a new team just about in 2 weeks or
Let me
what?
get that.
Some of those things just some of those things actually just provoke me. I decided to select the kind of people I want to help in sending job vacancies to my platform. Just, it was not because of anything. I was not biased, but I was just like, it was somehow to me. And then at the end of the day, I tend to see that some of those schools, the kind of relationship they build with their uh, with their teachers are not the kind of relationship that can build a collaborative team. A collaborative team does not just come just like that, and then a collaborative team does not come. You can't even achieve a collaborative team by not taking care of them. These are some of the realities teachers are actually facing out there, and I know that it has not been easy during the COVID, and it is even a time that schools and a lot of teachers and administrators can learn to be.
Okay, your line is beginning to break. Can you still hear us, Eben?
But decided that she'll be sent to me that she built a small farm in the school where they planted corn, and they were actually sharing the corn during COVID, making sure that, please, so I did not have money, but please note, we must take care of ourselves, we must eat. So team building is to actually build a team requires a lot of what's it called, a lot of expertise, a lot of putting people into consideration, and then building a collaborative environment. And talking about collaborative environment, don't think it is all about you alone. Those people matters. And there was one statement yesterday generated from a school owner, from a teacher. The teacher actually said that those teachers in your school, they have branches. If you don't take care of them, it is going to affect their branches. And at the end of the day, they may actually not what's it called, not be able to work to the fullest in your school. So building team building should be a continuous process in the school, and should be something whereby I think Mrs. Adefisayo, the Commissioner of Education, actually said something one day during my conference. She said she decided to evaluate herself, that, okay, how do you see me? What am I doing that you don't like? What exactly is, doing even self-evaluation in the school are actually very important right now. So, and I would like if everybody out there can try their best as much as possible to to ask questions, to build a team that will be reliable, politics is now much even in school these days. So for us to
Thank,
stop
thank you
politics
so
in
much.
school, it is going to be a very big tough game. Yeah.
Thank, thank you so much, Even. Um,
Yeah, but
I want us to also realize that we must understand that bonding precedes building, because sometimes we interchangeably use those words: team bonding, team building. If you take a time out in your memory, or you use your imagination, you'll realize that when builders are things, there's a tendency that you put bricks on blocks, and then you
Everybody's having bad network today.
yeah, Satan is in trouble.
blocks on blocks, but you actually have to put the cement to mend or connect the blocks. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we're hearing you now.
Okay. So I was saying that the cement is the one that glues a brick or a block to another. That's the same thing when you have a team. Each member and unit of the team is the block. The cement is the bonding. And it's when you are able to bond a block to another block that you've been able to achieve building. So when we want to build our things, it's important that the prerequisite to building is bonding. So we must have a plan, deliberate plan to bond: physical bonding, mental bonding, intellectual bonding, capacity bonding, every form. In fact, without bonding, no building can happen. So let's say, Ugochi, you've been a leader of some networks. I've seen how you've been able to mobilize people, rally around people to capture a particular project or to do a particular thing, right? I would like you to share experiences of how you are able to achieve that forming as an element. And then, of course, Titi will now help us to talk about the storming side, because it's not enough to form. There is a part of storming, like brainstorming, like work storming. We have to storm. That's where the disagreement comes in. So, Safety Chick, could you just elaborate in 2 minutes on that?
Okay, so when you want to execute a project as a team, and you really want everybody on the team to feel committed to the vision. So first of all, you need to be clear what the vision is. When you're clear on the vision, then you need to rally around people that have the necessary skills that will lead you towards that vision. So when you have been able to bring these people together, you have to communicate this vision to them, and you have to be sold to the vision yourself for you to be able to communicate it effectively to others, because that is what is going to make them want to, do everything to make that come alive. Now, you must make each person feel important. Let them know that they are not just here to occupy space, that the role they play is so fundamental to the big picture that if they do not do it, we're not going to get the big picture. When everybody has that sense of commitment to the vision, then you see that everyone now they own the process. So they really want it to work. And even when certain things begin to happen all around that might want to discourage. Now, because people are sold to the vision and because people feel connected to you, the person who brought the vision, they would want to do their best. And see, that is why one of the things I mentioned at the beginning is, as a school owner, you must come to this point, administrator, where you're saying, okay, feel free, clean slate. I don't hold anything against you. Feel free to communicate and all that. Because if people can tell that you care about them as a person, even if they're not committed to the vision, they are committed to you. And when they are committed to you, they want your vision to work. So I have seen that really work for me as I led different networks and rallied superstars, to get them to do something. But because people can see that I related one-on-one with them, I knew what it is they wanted out of it. I helped them on a personal level. So when it came to doing the group work, it became easier for them to, do what they needed to do, if nothing else, just because they have a relationship with me. So I think that bonding, that ability to look beyond what you're trying to get people to do, they look to their own personal interest. How is it going on in your home right now? How are the kids? How have you been managing? What are you planning to do? You know, it makes the teacher feel welcome. They feel as an important part of the process. So that's what I have to say on that. Mr. Rotimi. Okay. Or Mr. Davis, maybe we'll move to you on forming. This forming or storming said you were going to do.
Well, you know, like we said, storming is when everybody's now more comfortable. People are really showing their true nature, as we say, and they tend to start to push back. They tend to start to, you know, push the boundaries, try to see the rules, whether these rules are being monitored. That's why when anything you do and you don't follow through, at the storming stage is when people just realize that it's not going to happen, and then they are going to then do what they want. So let me give a very typical example. So teachers are meant to go back to schools, and you then tell them they're meant to wear their mask. When we resume school, everybody's at the forming stage. You know, we'll all be wearing our mask in the first day. Then after a while, you know, a few hours as the first day, everybody was all. By the second day, third day, you know, it's now normal. By the third day, then people will now say, okay, I haven't seen head of school pass my class in whatever. So they're going to remove their mask. You know, they're going to push it down to their chin. They're going to do whatever it is that they need to do, or they'll start just pushing the boundaries. That's really what happens in a lot of the storming stage. And that's the stage where you really need to bring everybody back. Someone told me a story of what happened in Dubai, whereby, you know, inspectors were going around in one of the schools, unfortunately, and one of the teachers was not with her mask on her face, you know, was not fully covered, you know, her mask on her face. And then the school got a fine. So then the government has said if you're not, the school gets a fine and the individual gets a fine. You know, so that's what typically happens in the storming state. People start to push the boundaries. They start to push the boundaries of what you said. They start to challenge authorities. They need their roles clarified at that time. Then people start to feel overworked with the workload, the changes. You know, they start feeling uncomfortable with their approach, because that's really when things really start to settle in. So even as schools have resumed, what's going to happen is nobody has done this new normal. That's just the truth. So at the beginning, people, but after a while, people are stressed. They are overworked. But they want me to come and do this physical class again. They want to do something online. They're going to start being overworked. They're going to start being overwhelmed. They're going to start, you know, pushing back. They're going to start dropping the ball. So it's at this stage that, you know, whoever is in leadership and in management needs to quickly rally people, needs to quickly get the feedback, needs to see what adjustments needs to make. If you need to reinforce the policies, you need to do that. If you need to encourage the people, if you need to motivate them, even the parents, the storming also happens on the other side. Or the parents start getting frustrated with the new method, the new normal. It's not what they're used to. Even the child. So storming is something that, you know, it's something that's continuously happening. Even when you go through the stage, then you start going back to you know, when things start to become normal, what's going to happen is at any time you introduce something new or implement something new, you go through those stages again, forming, the storming, then things start to normalize, then people start to respect you as a leader, respect the new roles, respect each other's strength, respect each other's boundary. It's only after we then get there that we then start performing. And people start getting used to working in a team. So it's going to happen a lot during this new term, and it's important that those in leadership quickly recognize it and quickly try to bring back the structure of the rules, guide people along it, you know, help them go through the emotions that they'll be going through at this time. if you're saying that empathy supports the bonding process, yes. Everybody that comes to the team, they come with their own agenda. So you need to be aware of that agenda and show empathy. So if your school for any reason is not going to pay full fees, you need to be at this point in time showing empathy. Trying to understand that people have had to make changes and sacrifices. So if you are being over demanding, so you're paying me less and they are demanding more, you need to be able to show empathy and talk about it and say, what are the things and what are the hopes when things get better that you would, adjust. So it's not enough for you to come reduce it and then there's no hope inside to say, if we do meet this number of students, if we do meet this, if this thing happens, will then result back to the normal salaries and things like that. It's very important that you show empathy. It's very important that you're also flexible. So when someone says these are the person's challenges, because if teachers have to return, but let's say transport has gone up, but my salary has gone down. What do you want to do? How are you feeling me on that level? Okay, Rotimi, back to you. Are you there? Okay, Ugochi, what are your own thoughts? I think I will move on and say, for a team to be performing, which is the final stage, especially at this stage where people need the team to be performing. Schools need the teachers to perform. If not, more parents will just drop off at the end before you go far into the week. I'm sure a lot of parents will go into this new term holding their fees in their pocket first. They want to see. They want to see whether they should just go and sit down and use half of the money to do homeschooling. So it's important that there's performance. It's important that based on what people saw at the last term, especially those that did online learning and they weren't very happy, that there's a change, the learnings have been incorporated from the last term. So people want to see that. So what would you advise in terms of how leadership should approach going to ensure performance happens? We quickly get to the performing stage. I think that's what I would say.
Okay, so as conflict begins to arise in that, storming stage and all, leadership should ensure that they are not pitching people against the other. They should ensure that they are working towards conflict resolution as quickly as possible, because the truth is we need to get everybody off their different corners and get them all to the center so that performance can happen very quickly. And so this is not the time to be too strict on your staff, and there should be a lot of grace and compassion at this time. Of course, that is not to say that you should allow people to go beyond limits that have been set. You must have your set limits and it must be there. Then, of course, you should now understand that there are times where you need to be able to give grace. Yes, but the basic thing at this point is they're really trying to get everybody moving in the direction that you want them to go in an easy format. Let me put it that way. So anything that is going to make it difficult for them to comply, or make it difficult for them to perform, or make it difficult for conflict to be resolved, such that people are holding things against one another, they can't say a middle ground, or they feel like, oh, this other person is supported, I'm not supported. You don't want that to happen, because you need everybody in the right frame of mind working towards your goal at this time. So if you need to do something to motivate your staff, by all means do so. If you need to cause some form of relaxation, just do some things to make them just feel welcome, feel important, feel a part of the process. What is really going to be very important now is for the school owners, the school leadership, to communicate the importance of every single member of staff to them. Let the cleaner know that without you, we can't do this, there is a problem. Let the security man know that if you don't do the temperature checks, if you don't ensure hand washing happens, we are not going to succeed at this. And you see, so when everybody on the team feels that their little count in the grand scheme of things, they are more, should I say, they are more ginger, they are more ginger to perform, and you really need everyone performing. So yesterday I stumbled on a post on Facebook on a teacher, a school owner who was sharing her experience that the Office of Education Quality Assurance visited her school, and she was stating the things they asked for and then her advice to other school owners. And you see, one of the things she talked about is that everybody should, be able to stay calm and contribute to the whole. She talked about even the receptionists being able to perform their job. And you see, that shows that every single person is important, because if you, the whole school system, say, for example, the class part of things is working properly, you have done your social distancing, you have your hand washing station, but from the gate, somebody did not temperature check, somebody did not ensure that stores did what they were supposed to do, it still impedes on the total process. So the regulators will look at you like you are not getting something right, because entry and exit is so important at this time. So to be able to galvanize your whole team to perform, you must make all of them, get everybody sold on the vision. Every single person, you really do not want any weakling at this point in time. And if you're able to do that, you would see that your performance is going to be really great. So even though we're all navigating a new normal, new circumstances and all that, to some extent, we'll be doing fine.
I like what you said. The fact that everybody needs to know what their role and the fact that they play a role, because the security man needs to know that he now has, a very important role to play, because from the first impression, people will know how together the school is. So I won't wait till I go inside. So if I'm going there, the security man is not ensuring that those safety protocols are, I'm then wondering what will happen inside. So, it's not a good first impression for the parents. So it's important that they know. Then we go to the reception before we get to the classroom. And based on the new way it's going to go, most of us will not even be able to go into the classroom, because a lot of schools are limiting parents. They just want you to drop off and just be going. All that hanging around is not going to happen. So what that means, that my idea of how the school is put together will be from those first interactions. How when I get from the gate to that, what I just see as I drop off my child. So they now even become greater champions. They even become greater, projections of what policies that schools have put in place. Because all the other ones, it will just be hearsay, what my child will tell me, or what the school has told me. So it's important that everybody realizes how they roll. And I think just also sharing the fact that if you fail, we all fail. Because
yes,
like example, yes. So if, for instance, some inspection people come in and it's from the gate. From the gate, they just feel, these people are not doing it well. They're not even allowing the social distancing happen from the drop-off, and they just decide to close the school. So people need to now know that's how important their role is, that your role can just determine that everybody else doesn't get salaries. So it's important that they take it very well. Those things are important. I think also, some of the things is just recognizing the small achievements you make by the day. Once you've survived the first week, is really to bring the team together and say, you know what, we survived this first week. Well done. The things that they did well, and then there's areas that they still need to work on. Nothing will ever be 100% perfect. So there'll be things to say, these are the things that we still need to work on. But I think in doing that, let's not, be what I would call, too much on the details, or the tiniest details, so that it doesn't become overwhelming. It doesn't seem as if, we can't make it. But we need the teams. We can't do much without a team. Because if your teachers all decide, what they're not doing, what's going to happen to the school? So it's important that you realize that the team is the most valuable asset. That's what it really is. The team. In the end, for me, I've gone to a number of schools, and it comes down to the teachers. I tell people, no matter what packaging the school does, no matter how they do it, the real deal are the teachers. So it's important that you get them all on board. It's important that you you make them feel so much part of it.
Okay. Mr. Rotimi, over to you.
Mr. Rotimi, back to you. He says he can't see or hear anything. Do you want to log out and log back in? Wow.
They wait for us to see comments. Maybe we can just move on and wrap things up.
Yeah, most people are, so we don't really have a lot of comments. We just have, I'm sure if you're had to sneak in for her lunch period at this time, she most likely have. Thank you. If you had commented before, just saying good morning, everyone. Also, Cardiac Academy TV had also said good morning, everyone. And then if your had said empathy supports the bonding process, she's like agreeing with. Guess who just sneaked in?
Somebody reached out to me on WhatsApp some days ago and saying, please, where is Mrs. Rhoda Odibo? I've been looking for
Oh,
her. Okay.
I've
I'll
been,
be
I
please
went.
send me your WhatsApp.
Oh, I miss you all so much. Honestly, I wouldn't say AWOL, I'm absent without leave. I would say that I was just, very buried in a lot of work. So current, yeah. So it was so difficult, very, very difficult. I don't know how, safety ticket, these things that even to see. I was so difficult to get myself, to just join. Very
Yes, I can.
difficult. Oh my God, I'm missing every day.
Has school resumed? Has school resumed for you?
We're about to resume. We're resume. So for me personally in the family, yes. But for us at Bridge, yeah, we are resuming next Monday, and there's a lot of moving parts. But even more importantly, we're also technical partners with the state, and we've been buried in training, and that's what has been just a lot and